4th edition of Pro Saints Talk. Hey, it's great to be back. We took a week off. Had a momentous occasion in the family. Ron here was out on paternity leave, and I'm happy to say that I had the pleasure of welcoming in a little Ron into the Who Dat Nation and Booga Nation. So really excited about that. You can only imagine the feeling. But, hey, George, Joe, Boogie, great to have y'all back.
It's great to have you back, Ron. And just so everyone's aware, Ron's been in a black hole, sleep deprivation, diapers, and the joy that a newborn can bring. So he's a bit behind the 8 ball on all the happenings of the Saints. So in our pre-podcast discussion, he was like, whoa, that happened? That's crazy. That's happened. So forgive Ron if he's a little bit slower behind the rest of us because he's had bigger fish to fry recently.
Hey, a little delirious, but between diapers, man, I had the Rams game on the hospital TV, so look, not short on enthusiasm tonight, all right? But with that being said, let's get it started.
Let's talk some Saints, bro.
Dude, let's do it. All right. How we start every podcast, the Marcus Davin Report. What did we think, Boogie? We've had 2 preseason games since we last talked, on the road out in Los Angeles, and then at home against the Rams. Did you see anything you liked from Marcus Davenport?
Well, dude, they started tweeting Davenport and pads a couple weeks ago. Ron, you and I watched that one play against him when he was against the Chargers. Made a nice tackle when he, moved his body, tackled the dude sideways.
Dude, no doubt.
So that was a nice play. Dude, just to see him on the field is positive. I mean, dude, at least he's playing. I mean, I don't know. I don't, to tell you the truth, he played a lot the last game, and he was getting a lot of, he was getting some pressure. He's like a little late off the ball, but dude, I mean, he looks promising. But for 2 first-round draft picks, this dude's got to be a beast this year to be seen.
The speed was undeniable. I mean, you can definitely tell he's going to have that speed rush move, and then on that one play that you're talking about against the Chargers, I mean, he kind of lunged out at the guy with an arm tackle and ripped him down. I mean, it was a pretty athletic move. I didn't know if it was a horse collar at first, but George, what'd you think of him?
Well, great sign of life. I think he showed he was a little bit better than we anticipated him being, because everything you were reading about and hearing about in training camp and in practice, him not playing, and when he was playing, Armstead was just throwing him wherever he wanted and having his way with him. I really had low expectations. I thought he had great bursts. Joe said slow off the line. I thought that wasn't an issue. I think he's got very raw. You can tell that, but extremely athletic, good size, very good size. But I like what Boogie just said. Boogie said, man, we just gave up 2 first rounds for the guy. I'm like, well, dude, think about how we drafted this year. Is giving away draft picks that big of a deal anymore? I know last year we would have all taken a bullet for Jeff Ireland and bowed down to the Jeff Ireland god. But this year, it's a complete 180. We only have 2 rookies on the draft class going into week 1 that we're utilizing. Since the Ricky Williams trade, I don't remember a draft class that's just so 1-2 player oriented. And it's just crazy how this is all unfolding here. Boston Scott got cut. Less than a week ago, we had really high expectations for him. And now we have 2 running backs. I'm kind of going all over the place here, but this draft
but that's a good point.
Is off to a slow start.
No, that's a good point.
No, it is.
No, we can go into the draft class. I mean, yeah, think about it. I think we were talking about it, George. Like, wasn't this the first class since, like, the Brandon Cooks class that, I mean, you're pretty much all in on one guy. I mean, Traquan Smith's a little bit of a saving grace in this class.
I have more faith in Traquan Smith right now than I do in Davenport, hands down. Agree or disagree?
Well,
of course agree.
In the 3rd round.
So it goes back to this. Let me ask you this. So if your team is so deep and there's only so many spots a rookie can make, maybe you should handle the draft differently. Instead of using all your draft picks, trade up and use those draft picks to trade up for Davenport instead of using next year's first. You know, I just thought about that a lot when we cut our whole draft class. In other years, we live and die by the draft. And this year, we cut all of our guys, and then they immediately go sign elsewhere. Moore went to the Giants. Jamerson went to the Texans. It's just we
Nate Stupar, Giants.
Stupar signed? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Stupar signed with the
Yeah,
Giants.
well, you can.
Oh,
Wait, the
Stop
video's
following.
been like, oh, we're so deep. All right, man. Jamerson, 5th-round pick, okay? What is he? Safety /
corner, yeah.
He had JT Gray, an undrafted free agent, make the team over him. And you had your boy, Arthur Mollett, make the team. So you had a couple those are 2 undrafted guys who made it over the draft picks right there.
Well,
But
Mullet's not a
hey,
rookie.
maybe,
Stallworth is the other rookie that made it.
Yeah, Stallworth. Mollett's a rookie.
No, he played last year. Had a good year.
Yeah, Mullet's second year. Dude, what about
man? All right.
Bucs? What about your favorite topic, dude? Will Clapp making the team over Rick Leonard.
Dude, Clapp may start this week if Pete's hurt, because what is Pete doing in the 4th season game? He's like the one starter in there. Pete, out of all people, he's flopping around in there. I'm like, dude, what the hell is he doing in there? And then he gets hurt. So now we have to reshuffle because he has to play in the 4th preseason game. We got Oklahoma and who else is the other dude? Laribas, whatever his name is. Yeah, so he's signed. I think Pete may be hurt, man, like a little more than we think. And, hey, who's going to start his
the
place?
fact that they're not really talking about it a
People
lot has you worried.
to get in, man. Throw the kid in. Throw the kid in.
Throw the Tiger in.
Dude, everyone's going to want Clapp to play. Yeah, put him in, man. Hey, watch him actually be pretty good, so.
But George, weren't we talking about this when we were first breaking down the depth chart? You love the starting offensive line. Not in love if we lose a guy like Pete. Most flexible guy. Could shift out to tackle for you if you needed him. I mean, this is not good to start out week 1, right? You got Jason Pierre-Paul and Gerald McCoy coming at you this week.
I mean, we predicted this 5 weeks ago, and now you're looking at Jermon Bushrod, Revis, and Clapp starting, and then that changes who your swing guy is, the 64 eligible guy, and then it changes who the next guy up is. Because now, if Armstead goes down, then instead of Pete going to left tackle, you have Bushrod starting at left tackle and Revis at left guard. And we're hanging on by a thread at all times with Armstead. He's as good as it gets, but that car breaks down a lot. So, no, you're exactly right. This is terrifying. And to hammer the point about the draft, we were going into the draft saying we need O-line depth. We need O-line depth. And then we squander these draft picks like Leonard that are just on the practice squad. And we're not very comfortable with where we're going into week 1 with the O-line depth. That is a big issue here. So I echo your sentiments here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a concern for week 1. I'm not too concerned about it for the next couple weeks. But going down this stretch, I mean, the O-line's got to be healthy going forward. And especially the first 4 weeks where you don't have Ingram. That's another point about the cuts, dude. How many running backs we going into for week 1, George?
2. Gillislee and Kamara. And Gillis has been on the team for less than John Roberts been on earth. Think about that. That's crazy. Our 2 running backs, half of which have been on the team for less than a week. So if you have Kamara in fantasy, that's obviously a strong play because we're going to use them. That's all we got. And our receivers right now, I love them on paper, but they're not clicking yet. And they're going to click. They're going to be great. Our offense is going to get in sync. But I don't really love where Meredith is right now. Don't really know you have an Austin Carr. Ted Ginn takes a minute to get going. And Traquan Smith is a rookie with very high expectations and possibilities. But he's not going to be a week 1 dynamic player. This year he will be, but week 1, it's just going to take a while for our offense to gel. And we're going to have so much pressure on Kamara.
Yeah, it is going to take a little while.
It's going to have so much pressure on Kamara to get the ball down the field. There's only so much that he can do. I mean, Gillislee's good. He had a very good tenure at Buffalo 2 years ago. He's been all over the league since he's been in. Wherever he goes, he's like an Ivory type, a Kyrie Robinson, a thumper, a guy that attacks the hole, which is what you love to see, especially to be the thunder and lightning of Kamara. So he'll still some touchdowns.
Still, I mean, we're talking so unrealistically What NFL team with half a brain goes into week 1 with 2 running backs on the roster? I mean, by the time we post this podcast, they're going to have signed somebody. I mean, this is stupid.
Maybe we're waiting
No,
for.
Hayward, I asked that on Twitter. Like, hey, who's the primary running back? And I got blasted. Kamara, bro. Kamara. Don't be a fool, Kamara. I'm like, all right, yeah, Kamara's gonna be the running back. I mean, you can't hand him the ball 30 times a game. We need a couple running backs.
And that's what Kamara works the best, as he's a 1-2.
Right, dude. He's a slash player. Like, he's not going to get the ball 30 times a game. If you start giving it to him, he's going to get hurt or something. We need another guy to give the ball to.
It's not only injured, it's a concern. It's his effectiveness. His yards per carry are going to go way down when the key in on him. So when we have that other running back, he's so much more effective. That's the best way to use him. It's a very good point.
Yeah, I got killed on Twitter for that, man. Like, we got Kamara. All right. Had random people at me.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not saying we couldn't survive week 1 like that because they'd probably just throw it 40 to 50 times, and the Bucs secondary sucks. I mean, Boogie, your favorite coach in the NFC South, Mike Smith, coaching the defense in Tampa. So yeah, I mean, could we get them week 1 with 90% passing? Yeah, especially because I don't know, the Bucs don't have a running game. So look, I'm not too worried about week 1, but it's a logistics issue. Why do you? No team goes in with 2 running backs.
And Sean Payton is a disciple of Bill Parcells. He used to keep a stable of them, 4, sometimes even 5 running backs. And historically, over a great team, the Super Bowl team, think of that stable of running backs. And then just a few years later, the Darren Sproles era, all those running backs. We normally have a 1, 2, 3, sometimes even a 4 punch. Now it's just a Kamara punch. And that's not going to be very effective. Boston Scott, he's going to come back inevitably. I think once we kind of know what's going on with the offensive line, when Pete returns, Ola will get cut, and then Scott comes back. But again, Scott's
going to clear away?
Yeah, I think he would have gotten picked up by now had he. I think he would have gotten picked up already had he not. So if the Scott's not really your between the tackles guy. Jonathan Williams was, and we cut him, and that didn't make sense either.
But hey, wait, let me get back to Ron, what you said about Buccaneers secondary sucking. You know who made the team? Your boy Devontae Harris.
He made the team?
He made the team.
Yes.
Hell yeah!
How badly do you want to see Breeze throw to can't guard Mike score 70-yard touchdown on that dude?
Oh, man.
That's going to be a blast in the Dome to see him again on the other team.
Dude,
God,
Dome's going to be rolling.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Well, you knew they had to keep him on for week 1 as the mole.
I don't know if y'all watched Hard Knocks.
It's like Hard Knocks. Yeah.
Did you see that episode with Kendricks when he broke down the Eagles? I'm sure that's the exact same thing Devontae Harris is doing. I've always wondered that. Like when Garrett Grayson is on the Falcons, how much is he breaking down what's going in our locker room, in our huddle, to the Falcons? I'm sure he's singing like a canary. So Devontae Harris has to be doing the same thing here. But going back to the Bucs.
Yeah, I don't think Devontae Harris is breaking down the playbook.
No, I think we broke that down earlier.
But the Buccaneers, if you look at their roster, there's talent everywhere. And yet, we're not scared of them in the least. Even though they beat us the last game in the regular season last year, and they tend to beat us in a kooky end-of-the-year game every now and then, what is wrong with Tampa Bay? There's something systematically wrong with them, that they have talent, and yet they're just – the NFC South is always a revolving door on who's good between us, Panthers, Falcons, and yet the Buccaneers are always in the basement playing by themselves, and you're like, what are you doing down there, Buccaneers? How did they get so bad for so long?
Dude, Peyton does not like Cutter, their coach.
Oh, well, of course not.
Peyton's got it out for that dude.
Dude, Cutter's on the hot seat, man.
You know, as we were preparing for this podcast, I Googled to see, is he still the coach there? Because he seemed like a prime guy to get replaced this offseason.
Yeah, he'll be mid-season.
Yeah,
They'll bump up Mike Smith. Watch.
Oh, bump up? I thought it was a bump down.
But dude, George,
Old
to answer your
Harry
question,
Arms.
to answer your question, one word: quarterback, dude. When was the last time they had a good quarterback?
Because Brad Johnson, good might be a very liberal use of that word.
Yeah, Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer. Yeah, it's been a long time for them. Jeff Garcia. Yeah, I mean,
Bruce Gradkowski.
I'm gonna say Garcia
McCown?
was their last good quarterback, like 07, 08 or somewhere around there. But yeah, dude, I mean, that's why they've been bad.
I mean, but there have been teams that we've been scared of with bad quarterbacks. I've always looked forward to the Bucs game for a long time. Like,
dude, I want to win, man. I hope we kick their ass.
I think it goes back to the first year of the NFC South in 2004. I think we swept them that year, 2-0, and they went on to win the Super Bowl. And I think that kind of started the rivalry, in my opinion. But I think we need to get on to the topic of last week. The prodigal Ron, I think, may have entered the door. We've been talking about Taysom Hill for all preseason long about being the heir to the throne. I think somebody's coming in Game of Thrones style here, and his name's Teddy Bridgewater.
That on Hill.
You really think he's gonna be good,
dude? He's been showing the New Yorkers something, dude. Our New Yorkers said that the Jets media has been loving him, man.
Are you shocked into New York buying the clickbait? You talking about Bridgewater or Hill is who New York is falling in love with?
I'm talking about Bridgewater.
Oh, Bridgewater with the Jets. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying clickbait may have gotten replaced with clickbait 2, clickpoint 2.0. You know? Dude, Teddy Bridgewater.
If the real clickbait scores a touchdown this season, we'll have to treat y'all to a GB also. That would be awesome.
I'm going to give you the trifecta, dude. He's going to block a punt, he's going to score a special teams touchdown, and he's going to recover an onside kick this year. You just watch.
Well, as we dive into Bridgewater, one thing I do want to say about clickbait is it kind of eases clickbait because now he has so much less pressure, and he can just be that X factor, special teams, trick play quarterback guy on our team, which is kind of what his ceiling was really to begin with. So he can just be that guy for trick plays and special teams and fake punts and all that fun stuff, and not have any pressure to be the backup quarterback. Because the difference between him and Savage is negligible, whereas the difference between him and Bridgewater is significant. So this is going to free up clickbait to just let him do his thing, which I think he will score a touchdown this year because Sean Payton is going to have fun with him. And he ran a fake punt in a preseason game with him. What's he going to do in the regular season? And I think a lot of fun is going to be had here with that.
Dude, that would be awesome.
What's a more ridiculous Saints story? What's more ridiculous? The beer man coming off a Budweiser truck to set NFL and Saints records for return yards and whatnot, or a quarterback legitimately playing special teams in the NFL and playing them well?
Beer man.
I don't know, man.
Beer man right now.
In this day and age?
But no, he's just a preseason,
Ron's preseason. Beer man did in the regular season.
If Hill goes crazy in the regular season, dude.
Hill did this in the regular season last year.
Yeah, but he didn't go full on. I mean, he just made a couple tackles, man. Dude, if he goes off, I mean.
Okay, well, yeah, obviously if he goes off. But I guess I'm just saying, the concept of just throwing a quarterback out there in today's NFL to do anything other than hold or play quarterback is ridiculous.
It's kind of true.
He's really not a quarterback.
He is, though.
Anyway, if he makes the Pro Bowl, yeah, I guess. I mean, dude, he wasn't that good. He's not an NFL quarterback.
Ron, if you would dive into Bridgewater, let's go ahead and do it.
Well, no, I'm waiting on y'all to do it. Go, George.
Okay, so a year. We have him for a year, and that's kind of scary because we gave a third-round pick. And the word is compensation if he doesn't re-sign him with us, that we get a draft pick back, but that's been undisclosed. So really, we have him for a year. And then when this year's over, we're going to have to convince them, hey, man, stick around, because most likely Drew Brees is going to have another great year. And then do you want to stay here and be a backup to Drew Brees for the foreseeable future and waiting in his wings to replace him maybe in 2 to 4, maybe 5 years? That might be a little optimistic. 2, 3, maybe 4 years. That's a tough sell. The guy's 25, going to be 26. And yeah, he's going to be replacing a Hall of Famer and a great quarterback, and he can say all the nice things about Drew Brees. Their teams, i.e. the Buffalo Bills, that Bridgewater could be starting on right now. So to convince him to stay, I think that's an uphill battle. And then how convinced are we in him? It's a two-way street. How convinced are we in him? People love him because he made the Pro Bowl and was solid his rookie year. He's only thrown 14 touchdowns his first 2 years. And then he had that horrific knee injury, which could really ruin a lot of careers out there, especially for a mobile quarterback. And he hasn't really established himself as a serviceable, good quarterback that he once was. And you can watch the highlights from him in the preseason of the Jets, and he's got a lot of zip on the ball. He really does. He's got more zip on the ball than Savage or Hill could ever dream of, and that was fun to watch. But again, that's preseason. How much faith do we really have in him? And we have our own window right now with Drew Brees, but then beyond that, with Kamara, Lattimore, can't guard Mike. Is he the guy that we want to turn it over to? There's a lot to be figured out, and I don't know if a year is enough time with him just sitting on the sidelines to really figure this out. I wouldn't be the most optimistic. If we can get him to re-sign, I'd like to draft a first-round quarterback whenever it's time for life after Breeze and do a Sam Arnold versus Bridgewater, our own version of that, and then let the best man win. But I wouldn't put all my eggs in Bridgewater's basket. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I think Bridgewater is. I don't think he's the savior, but I think he's a really good backup. And if something happened, I think it would be, Peyton probably could plug him in and we could probably win some games. But I think, we would still be searching for, drafting a quarterback and searching for a franchise guy. But I mean, maybe he'll be good. I mean, I have no clue. I mean, I don't think he's, I think if he were awesome, he would still be on these teams. But, Peyton's a quarterback whisperer, so, you never know. But Peyton also drafted Ryan Griffith, Gary Grayson, Flick Bate,
Chase Daniel.
Dude. Chase Daniel. He's still in the league, man. Dude's racked up some money.
Yeah. Has the highest dollar per yard pass in NFL history.
Yeah, so.
This is what I'll say about Bridgewater. Contract stuff aside, rookie year a little bit different, but I see a lot of parallels to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Favre for 3 seasons and went to the Mike McCarthy quarterback school where they coached him up. I mean, they were both first-round draft picks, so they both obviously have a lot of potential. And the Packers went all in on Rodgers for 3 whole seasons. We could go that route. Have this season, next season, and then maybe in 2, 3 seasons from now, Teddy Bridgewater steps in after working under Carmichael and Breeze for that long. Dude, I could see him being successful. Look, the knee, he's going to be a different quarterback after the knee, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. He's going to be a more sustainable NFL starter that can be protected in the pocket. I'm cautiously optimistic about it. I think he could be something. Joe's point about, Peyton's the guy who's drafted X, Y, and Z quarterbacks in the draft. Well, okay, great. Peyton's also the guy that got Breeze in free agency. So he could be the guy that got Bridgewater in free agency.
You know, an interesting stat about Bridgewater is that he's 3 years younger than Clickbait. And Clickbait just seems so much younger. It's only his 2nd year in the league. And Bridgewater has had a career in itself. And he's only 25 years old. And he's got so much football ahead of him. And yet, it's just funny to me.
Really? Clickbait's
28 because Clickbait went on the Mormon mission. So he lost time there. And then Bridgewater was 21 when he started in the league. And then he had the 2 years and then the wash and then he came back. He's had a long career in his little span in the NFL. But I think Joe, you made a good point about this year, and I wasn't really thinking about that. So if you really consider this year, if Breeze goes out this year, we're in a lot better hands with Bridgewater than we are with Savage or Hill. But that being said, we'll go from a 13-3, 14-2, 12-4 team to what? 9-7? There's a significant drop off there. We're not really a Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's going to be a this year solution. I'm saying I feel a lot better about the post Breeze era.
It'll be entertaining.
I'm not that much more optimistic about life after Breeze. A little bit more, but I'm not going to put all my eggs in that basket.
What you looking for this week? What are y'all worried about? What's going to be the key to the win?
I think the key is keeping Breeze's jersey clean. I mean, I feel like they always seem to put a little bit of pressure on him, whether it's Quan Alexander or Levante David. I just think I think they seem to always get a little bit of pressure, and especially with Pete potentially being out this week, that's going to be my biggest thing. I think if we keep Breeze clean, we're going to blow this team out the water. I think we already touched on the Mike Smith secondary. I could easily see this being like a week 1 game from the Super Bowl year where Breeze throws up for friggin', 6 touchdowns or something stupid.
Really?
I think this could, I really think this could be Peyton putting the rest of the NFC on notice. Like, hey, I got some young weapons and I'm not afraid to use them.
Yeah. I'm looking for high.
Does Cam Meredith catch a pass Sunday?
Absolutely.
I don't think
I'll be shocked.
I think he's inactive.
No way, dude. I'll be shocked if he doesn't catch a pass. Dude, Breeze is going to get him involved early, and I think Peyton's going to do the same, They got the first 15 scripted. You know Thomas is going to have a couple of those balls coming to him. Kamara's going to have a couple out the backfield. But I wouldn't be surprised if they work Meredith in early.
I think the start of the season is going to be really slow for Meredith. You're going to see more Traquan Smith, maybe a little Austin Carr, a lot of Ted Ginn. I don't think we saw enough from Meredith to really throw him into the fire week 1. He looked shaky. But Joe, Ron, to answer your question about what we're looking for week 1, I think high energy. Are we just going to show the rest of the NFC and the NFL that we're the best team? And we have an easy week 1 opponent, very reminiscent to the Lions, like Ron said. Let's just go out. Let's just go out and have fun. See Craig Robertson playing, having fun out there. The defense doing the whole selfie thing. Just go out and beat the shit out of them and have fun doing it. And
Hell yeah. Oh, yeah.
What exactly are we looking for in that? I mean, big plays from Kamara, big plays from Ginn, big plays from Mike Thomas all over the field. But just wreaking havoc on Fitzgerald and just the dome rocking and bringing back the Saints in style. I mean, it's week 1. A hurricane just came, and kudos for y'all for surviving Gordon. But that's beside the point. Like, we're all distracted here, but the Saints are coming back to the dome, and what are we waiting for? Just that energy again, because this team has the highest expectations, and we need to show it. And coming off slow versus the Bucs, that's not gonna fucking happen. We're gonna roll, and that's what we're looking for week 1.
Boogie, score prediction. How many times they're going to play stand up and get crunk Sunday?
I thought
over
it
under
might be a
5
little
times.
close, and then y'all have me. Wait, all week I was thinking it might be a close game just because we may go in like overconfident. But I don't know, man. Y'all got me thinking about the 0-11 and just like us coming in and kicking their ass. And I don't know. We may go in there and kick their ass. So I think we are. I think Peyton's super cocky this year.
Yeah.
Which I love. I think he's just gonna go full Peyton, and I'm gonna love every moment of it. I'm gonna say we score 5 touchdowns, Ron. 5 times you can hear stand up and get crunk. You're gonna drink a Dixie every time.
That's another great question, though.
And,
are we moving on from stand up and get crunk to the new Super Bowl song, or are we just gonna do what we did last year and they play that song and then remix it with contemporary music?
I think it's pretty obvious.
I thought they played Get Crunk every time.
Yeah.
But no, last year they played Get Crunk and then they mixed in like some newer songs with it.
Oh,
no,
yes.
but they only did that when it was an absolute blowout and we were scoring like 5 or 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Maybe Dixie fogged by memory.
I just think it's so ingrained in the Peyton Breeze era. They're not going to change that song until the team reinvents itself.
I would let Anthony Hargrove punch me in the mouth to change that song.
I know, man. Every time it comes on, it's so old.
Yeah.
I wish they could play
but
something.
dude, it gets Ron going, dude. It works.
Yeah, three Dixies deep, it gets me going, I have to admit. But still, come on, please, Gail. New era, new times, new commentator, new owner. Let's get a new song, please. If you're listening out there.
Anything else for week 1?
Will Fate score a touchdown this week?
No,
absolutely
not week 1.
not, dude. No.
We're waiting for Falcons for that.
That's
one.
what I'm all in on clickbait scoring a touchdown this season. Let's just mark it down, and when it does, lunch is on me, along with the Davenport gets over 5.5 sacks. That's my
Ballers can
prediction
buy us
this season.
move if we're ever in the dome together and clickbait scores a touchdown.
Clickbait scores a touchdown. I want everyone to be here too. Let's mark that down because that's going to be awesome.
Oh, dude, that might also have to be a Galatoire's lunch along with Marcus Davenport, 5 sacks, dude.
Dude, Davenport may get 5.5 sacks, man.
He might. He showed some potential there.
Y'all are making me feel, it's just going to be a different kind of Sunday for me, man. I haven't missed a week 1 game in maybe ever. But I'll still be out on paternity leave this week. I'll be tuned in. I'll be sound on the TV down, WWL 870 up. I'll be listening to friggin' Streif and company.
Woof. Enjoy, my man. Enjoy. Yeah, we'll get a little update. Actually, hey, why don't you do that week 1 and update us on it?
Yes, Ron.
All right.
Text
you know I will. You know I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, the little
and you'll be our eye in the sky for the. Oh, dude. Got to start them early. That's all that matters. Yeah, we're not gonna have a
no, dude.
on this podcast.
I'll give you the film study on TV. Y'all drink the dome film for me.
One last question for me. Army's got Liberty this weekend. How much does Army win by?
10 points.
That's it? Okay.
10
So,
points.
So look, this is what I'll say. I got the full debrief from our New Yorker this past week after a disappointing loss to Duke. You know, they let that Commander-in-Chief trophy go to their head a little bit. How could you blame them? You know, coming off of 10-win season, first time in probably over 20 years, I think. So, hard to not let it go to your head. Plus, they just lost a lot of leadership. You know, new group coming in. And obviously the most important guy in that offense is the quarterback. And, you know, you're not going to get another Bradshaw. That guy was a freaking beast at running that triple option last year. But Liberty blew out Old Dominion last week by 42 points. So this ain't going to be any cupcake for Army. They are at home at Michie Stadium. So I think I'll give them a win by 10 points. They're gonna control the ball a little bit more, and I think that defense is gonna be a little bit more ready to play. They're gonna have to just get more physical, and I think Coach Monken's gonna do that. I think he's gonna get it in them this week.
Thank you for that, Ron. They're gonna win by 24. But everybody, we thank y'all for listening, and Boogie, tell them where they can find us on Sunday at 10 a.m.
Under the overpass, bro.
Galvez and Poit, just come find us. If you listen to the podcast, we're approachable. Come beep at us. Have some fun. We're there. Ron won't be there this Sunday. He's got a higher priority. Send us out, Ron.
We out, y'all.
This podcast dream would only be a dream if not for Andrew Simmons behind the ones and twos doing the hard part. So a big shout out to our sound engineer, Andrew Simmons.